Hello, I'm Sherry Caulfield, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm going to share with you how you can level up your LinkedIn leads. In the last year, I've created a system called the LinkedIn Leverage System that has allowed me to create 50 to 75 new targeted connections to my LinkedIn community each and every week. Those connections I consistently turn in to 5 to 7 connection calls each week on my calendar. Connections that I can turn in to collaboration partnerships, referral partnerships, and yes, new clients. And I can't wait to share with you how I do it. I'm going to be sharing with you some slides that take you through the system, as well as going into the LinkedIn platform to actually show you step by step what I'm doing. Would that be helpful? I know it will be. So I'm going to open up my slide deck now, and I can't wait for us to dive in. Okay, welcome to my desktop. Let's dive in. But before we do that, just a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, I want to acknowledge you for being here. You know, Woody Allen said 80% of success is just showing up. And you made the decision to be here, right? So you showed up. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing with your time, and I want to acknowledge you for deciding to commit to yourself and your business in learning how you can level up your LinkedIn leads. And I promise I'm going to do everything I can to over deliver. Now, I also want to tell you that while you're listening to this in your home office or wherever you're at, I do want you to send me your questions. If you have any questions as we go through the presentation today, write them down. And then at the end of the presentation, send me an email to wecare@resultspartner.com. I will get that as well as my customer service team, so we make sure that we get all of your questions answered. So some of you may know me, but I know there's a lot of people that are watching this that may have never met me before. So instead of going into some long drawn out biography of all of my 22 years in this business, I really think that there are 3 things that you need to know about me. Number one is that I've been where you are. I've started and grown 3 multi-6 and 7-figure businesses, taking them from day one of the business, just the idea, to 7 figures for one of the businesses. So I know the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur. I know how hard it is, and I know how joyful and amazing it can be. Number 2, I'm living what I teach. I truly believe that you have the ability to build a business that allows you to share your gift and do it in a way that also allows you to work when you want, from where you want, with clients you love. I call it living your bucket list now and taking your business with you. That's what I made the decision to do several years ago when I had my knock upside the head moment and realized that I really wasn't living my bucket list life. I wanted to be traveling full time, yet I was really stuck in Monterey, California, where I was living at the time, because most of my leads came from live speaking, live networking. So I was traveling all over California primarily, doing presentations and meeting people who then became my leads and my clients. If I decided to head off to Europe for several months, my leads would dry up. So I, in 6 months, totally changed my marketing for my business, sold my home, packed up all the possessions I couldn't get rid of, which were way too many, by the way, and was heading off to Australia for 4 months. And I've never looked back. You can do that same thing. It doesn't have to be traveling, but whatever your bucket list is, whether it's being a mom and only having a business that you can operate from 9 to 3 so you can truly be a full-time mom before and after school, or retiring your husband, or living in an RV, or whatever your bucket list is, you can create that. And number 3, I've helped others build their dream businesses. I've been at this for 22 years, helping service-based entrepreneurs from day one of their business to multi-6 figures. And I love it. I love what I do every day. I am amazed at the business owners that have created success, that have changed the lives of themselves and their family. And there's nothing else I would rather do. I so believe in the entrepreneurial dream, and I also know the flip side of that dream. I know the fear, doubt, and overwhelm that can creep in as an entrepreneur. I call it the business of running a business. It's everything you get to do as a business owner and keeping all those balls in the air. And I get how frustrating and overwhelming it can become when you feel like you're not even sharing your gift because you're doing all these other things as a business owner. The fact is, I see this show up more than ever in marketing. Today, there are so many ways to market your business, and every day we are bombarded with messages from all the gurus out there who are telling you that there's one way that is the right way to grow your business. And if you hear nothing else from me today, I want you to hear stop throwing marketing spaghetti against the wall. The two biggest enemies that I see of entrepreneurship are inconsistency and overwhelm. And in my opinion, inconsistency causes much of the overwhelm. Because you're trying to do too many things, you are inconsistent in implementing any one of them, so nothing actually works. So if you've heard the phrase content is king, to me, consistency is queen. Because when you choose no more than 3 marketing strategies that you're going to implement and do it well, you will see the results start to happen in your business. And what you'll also start to see happen is ending that cycle of feast or famine. You go out and you get a few clients, and then you busily serve those clients. And then all of a sudden you put your head up and you realize that you don't have any more money coming in because you haven't been going out and talking to new people and getting new clients. When you're consistent with the marketing strategies that you choose and you're implementing them each and every day, you can end this feast or famine cycle of business. Okay, so I'm going to get off of my soapbox here because it's time to dive into what we're going to be talking about today, and that is LinkedIn. Now, you may be asking yourself, after I just was on my soapbox about don't let anybody tell you what marketing strategies are right for you and be consistent in your marketing and so on and so forth, why am I here doing a presentation on LinkedIn? Well, here's the deal. I do not expect you to use LinkedIn in your marketing unless it's right for you. I do not teach my clients any one marketing strategy. I teach them to choose marketing strategies that are right for them and their business. Now, for me, LinkedIn happens to be one of the top 3 strategies that is allowing me to grow my business, to find high quality collaborations and leads, and do it in a way that fits into the lifestyle that I want to live. All I need is a computer and an internet connection. It works for me. What I ask you to go into today's lesson with is really understanding from what I'm teaching you whether LinkedIn is a good strategy for you. If at the end you say, you know what, I don't think LinkedIn is for me, then more power to you. I congratulate you for recognizing that and for not following the latest workshop, webinar, or whatever that you hear. So that's my wish for you is learn from what I'm teaching you today, make a decision on whether LinkedIn is a top strategy for you, and then go all in and let's implement it. With that as an intro, why LinkedIn? Well, here's the deal. LinkedIn is an amazing platform because the networking is free or low cost, even if you have a sales navigator or such. There's over 800 million users on LinkedIn, less than Facebook, yes, but those users are there to professionally network. These are people that are business owners that are there for the number one purpose of networking with other business owners. And that makes it a different kind of a network. The number one thing that I see is people show up for calls. In all the time that I have been working on LinkedIn in the last year, when I've been focusing on it, I can count on one hand the number of no-shows that I have had for calls. On one hand. They show up because the research has shown that 80% of LinkedIn's members are decision makers. They are there to make decisions for their business. So LinkedIn became one of my primary strategies in the last year. And I want to share with you today what I've learned about it and the LinkedIn leverage system that I've created. Now, the beauty of the LinkedIn leverage system is it allows you to add targeted connections to your LinkedIn community that you control. It allows you to create relationship with them. These are true relationships, not about salesy, spammy kinds of messaging. Schedule connection calls with them where you can turn those calls into collaborations, referral partnerships, and yes, new clients. There are 4 pillars to the LinkedIn leverage system. The first pillar is your profile. It's your front door to letting people get to know you on LinkedIn. It's very, very important, and we're going to start with talking about that. The second pillar is your posting strategy. You do need to post on LinkedIn, but you don't need to post 7 days a week or even 5 days a week, to be honest. What posting does on LinkedIn is give you credibility and visibility, primarily to new connections and continuing to build relationship to the connections you already have. The third pillar is your connections. Those are the people that have agreed to be part of your community. And the key there is we're going to be creating intentional relationships with these people. And the fourth pillar is my secret weapon. What I'm going to teach you is the single biggest way to broaden your reach with your LinkedIn connections and get more calls on your calendar. With this one pillar, I tripled the number of calls that were booking on my calendar every week. So let's dive in and go through each of the four pillars. Now, Walt Disney said that the only way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background, and then we're going to hop into the LinkedIn platform and we're going to actually show you some of the things that I want you to do. Now, your profile, it has many different parts. I don't have time today to go through every one of them, but I'm going to focus on the top 3 areas that will make the most difference to your visibility and your credibility on LinkedIn. And those are your profile picture, your banner image, which is that top section of your profile, and your headline. Those are the 3 areas that we'll be focusing on. So are you ready to get doing? Let's jump over to the LinkedIn platform and see exactly how you can create a profile that attracts the right people and gives you the credibility and visibility to turn them into connection calls. Okay, I'm here on my LinkedIn profile, and we're going to start with talking about how you can optimize your profile picture. Now, there are 3 things that are critical in optimizing your profile picture. The number one thing is you want to be face forward and smiling. You also want to have a white or a light background. That way you pop better off of the screen. And the third thing is you want to have a branded color band around your profile picture. Now there's a specific reason for this. If I go into the search bar up here and I put in Jessica, and a group of Jessicas come up that I could search for. When you roll down your eyes down this list of Jessicas, which is the Jessica that sticks out to you the most? Now, I'm hoping that you're saying Jessica Winder. And why is that? Well, I believe it's because Jessica Winder has chosen to have this band around her face. So when people are looking for you on the search bar, when you have that band around your picture, you tend to pop out better on the searches. So 3 things for your profile picture: face forward and smiling, white or light background, and a color branded band around your profile picture. Now, I have a little secret for you. I'm going to be giving you a free gift at the end that gives you an easy way to create this. If you're saying to yourself, but how do I create that color band around my picture? We're going to make it easy for you. So stay tuned. Okay, let's move on to the second area, which is your banner. Now, your banner is this area at the top of your profile where you have the space to communicate more of your message. There are several things that are important as you're thinking about your profile banner. The first overall thing I want to share with you is that clean is better than crowded. You definitely do not want to have a lot of stuff going on in this banner. It just makes it messy, and it makes it hard for people to really get the main message that you're trying to communicate. Now, there's 3 areas I want to talk about in the banner: the left, the middle, and the right. So let's start with the right. On the right side of your banner, what I prefer that you include is another picture of yourself, a different picture than this one in your profile picture, or a picture or a background for the entire banner that telegraphs what you do in your business. So if I was a photographer, I might want to include a picture of me with a camera in my hand, or even just a picture of a camera if I wanted to, on that right-hand side. On the left-hand side, this corner up here, that's a pretty small space above your profile picture, you have 2 choices. If you're in an industry where certifications or awards are really important, best-selling author could be one that's a general one, or it could be a certain type of certification in your field that's easily recognized by your ideal clients, you can put images of your certifications of your award in this upper left-hand corner. The other choice you have is to use it for a place to connect with you. So you'll see I have a little Let's Connect. I have a little arrow that's in my brand colors, and I have a QR code. I actually link that QR code to the connection call so people can literally put their camera up right now. I'll take my arrow off of there. If you put your camera on that right now, you should be able to go directly to your browser and open up the connection call schedule for me and schedule a call. So why not do that right now? I would love to meet you. Now, the third area is the middle. And this is the most important section. In this area, you want to have a clear brand promise or pain point that your ideal clients will relate to. You can do this from the positive side or the negative side. Now, what I mean by that, I have fill your calendar with a consistent flow of leads so you can work when you want from where you want with clients you love. That's from the positive. That's the outcome or the transformation that I help my clients create. Now, I could also choose to do something like struggling with finding ideal clients that you can talk to. Let's talk. So I could hit on the pain point that people are feeling. Personal preference, to be honest, in terms of which way you want to go on this top side. Okay, so that's your banner. Now, the third area that I want to talk about is your headline. And your headline is this copy that goes right below your name on the profile area. Now, your headline is critical because it drives so much of LinkedIn's search engine optimization. The words that you choose to use here will make a difference when people are doing searches for you. So you want to lead with the problem you solve. Now, what do I mean by that? I have supporting service-based entrepreneurs to attract high-quality leads and turn them into high-paying clients. Then I have some of the things that I do. I'm a results coach, I'm a trainer, I'm an international speaker. But I want to lead with what is the problem that I help my clients solve? Because when somebody's looking at your profile, it's typically when they're either looking for a service, they're Googling, high-paying clients, or they're Googling service-based entrepreneurs, they're Googling attract high-quality leads, and they find you in the search, or they are responding to a connection request from you. So when they go to your profile, you have about 10 seconds for them to decide whether they're going to connect with you. They're going to do that by looking at your picture. Do you look inviting? Looking at your banner, seeing what you're saying there, and then looking at your headline. So make your headline count because it includes keywords for your searches and it includes the words that people are going to most see when they come and look at your profile. Those are the top 3 sections that I'm going to say drive 80% of whether people accept a connection request. So your profile picture, your profile banner, and your headline. Nail those and you're going to do most of your job on LinkedIn. So that's your number one challenge I'm going to give you is to immediately after you watch the rest of this, go and fix your profile. Okay, let's move on to pillar 2 of the LinkedIn leverage system, and that is your posting strategy. Now, posting is critical to your visibility on LinkedIn. I want you to post a minimum of 3 days a week. That gives you enough visibility, but it's not burdensome for you. Typically, I recommend Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday just because they're the biggest traffic days of the week. But let's face it, if you want to post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I would rather have you do that than post once a week. Three days a week, I find is about perfect. I also recommend that you post at least a minimum of 1 original content post to get started. Now, what do I mean by original content post? Basically, that is a post that you write yourself. It's your own content and your own image. Everything is yours. You own it. Or a video that is actually of you speaking to camera, or it could be slides on camera. At least one of your 3 posts a week, I recommend are original content. Now that is opposed to third-party content, which is where you go out, you do Google searches, and you find articles that your ideal client is interested in. So for instance, I have an article about using video in your marketing, or I might have an article about the top 10 ways to build brand visibility or something like that. So something that is important to my audience that is written by a third party. I usually use bigger third parties, like I'll use Digital Marketer or I'll use Entrepreneur Magazine that are kind of industry experts in your area of focus. So 1 original content post minimum, and then your other 2 posts, if you have to get started, you can use third party. I do have a specific strategy that I'm going to recommend to you for your 3 posts a week. And that is the first post is going to be a short video. Now, I recommend you do a 2-minute to no more than 5-minute video once a week that you choose the same day each week that you're going to do your video. I happen to do 2 on Tuesday, where every Tuesday I share a 2-minute tip that sometimes is longer than 2 minutes, by the way. That's something that my ideal client is interested in. It could be a tech tip. It could be something about branding, about marketing, about ideal client. I talk about all kinds of different things, but it gets you in a rhythm of having that video coming out every week. People like videos, obviously, they get good engagement, and it keeps you consistent. Remember, we talked about consistency is queen? The second post I want you to do is a story lesson action post. Now, what a story lesson action post is, and I'm going to show you one here in a minute, is you start with a story, short story that can be about you, about your clients, about something that your nephew did. I have a nephew that I'm with this week. It can be about a story in history. Anything that you want to use as an opening, it's the hook, if you will, that turns into a lesson that's relevant to your topic or focus area. Then you give them an action step. Every post that you do should have a call to action. Everyone, whether it's your video, whether it's a third-party article that you're sending people to, or whether it's your story lesson action post. And we'll see an example of this in just a minute. And then the third one is that third-party content. So in a perfect world, when you're getting started, I would have 2 out of 3 of the posts be original content, your short video and your story lesson action post, and then have one of them be third-party content. And then very quickly, as you get into the rhythm of writing content, you'll make that third-party content, turn it into an original post. So let's go back over to the LinkedIn platform and let me show you each of these 3 examples in action. Okay, back to the LinkedIn platform here. I'm going to show you 3 posts that illustrate each of the 3 types of posts that I want you to do. The first is your story lesson action post. And this is a post that I did while I was in Charleston. I was on kind of vacation, not vacation, working business and vacation. And I talk about my story, is how this is my desk in Charleston and the business that I built and a little bit background story. Then I talk about my lesson, which is when I travel, I'm much more productive. I can do calls with clients and I'm focused and clear. And then I have a call to action. What's on your bucket list? So I'm asking them to engage with me and answer a question. And then, of course, I have a picture that, of course, this picture gets a lot of engagement because people see the computer on the beach, and that's the lifestyle that so many of my clients are really looking for. So that's an example of your story lesson action post. Now, the second one that I mentioned was the video post. This is an example of my 2 on Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I do a 2-minute tip, 2 to no more than 5 minutes, where I have copy at the top that talks about what this 2 on Tuesday is. I'm helping answer a big question most entrepreneurs have. When is the best time to send emails to my community? And then I'm asking them a call to action question. I'm curious, when do you find is the best time to send emails to your community? And then, of course, the video is actually uploaded into LinkedIn so they can view this video right on LinkedIn. Now, I do want to tell you that it's really important on the video that you have captions because so many videos are watched without the sound on. And then finally, here's a third-party post that I did. In this post, I'm using an article from Forbes that talks about how you can use your blog as a tool for your brand messaging. And when people click on this picture, it actually takes them to that Forbes article. So there you have 3 examples of a video post, a story lesson action post, and a third-party content post. So now you've created the foundation for your LinkedIn strategy. You have a killer profile that's going to attract your ideal clients, and you have your 1, 2, 3 post strategy in place. It's time to move on to pillar 3 of the LinkedIn leverage system, your connections, those conversations that you're going to create on LinkedIn. And I find that most times when I talk to people about the connection strategy, the 4 questions that they asked are, who should I target on LinkedIn to connect with? What should I send them? When should I send it to them? And how should I send it? So I'm going to answer each of those 4 questions in reverse order, starting with how to send. The fact of the matter is you have 2 ways to send connections. You can actually get them from organic searches on LinkedIn, and that's what we're going to focus on today. That's basically with a free version of LinkedIn, doing searches right in LinkedIn and sending them a connection request. Or you can do it using automation to leverage. Now, I'm not going to talk about automation to leverage today, but I will tell you that there are ways that you can use automation software to help you manage your LinkedIn leverage system without making it salesy or spammy. And I want to promise you, I do not subscribe to anything that is a bot talking to your clients all the time. I want you to have real conversations with people, but I also want you to be productive, and automation tools can help you do that. So today we're going to talk about organic searches and how you find the people to send connection requests to from organic searches. And as you move on in your LinkedIn strategy, you may want to consider automation. Now, when do you send them? Don't sweat this one. It really isn't going to matter when you send your connections, because the right connections will find your request. If you're watching TV on a Saturday evening and you want to send out some connection requests, go for it. The third question is, well, what should I send them? Well, this is a pretty easy one, because I want you to have a template ready to send out to each connection request. Always personalize your connection request by including their name, and keep it short and sweet. It really is a 2 to 3 sentence at most message that you're going to send them, because the only purpose of your connection request is to get people to click connect. Okay? Then the last question, who? This is the one that gets the most attention, because you need to send connection requests to the right people. On LinkedIn, you can target the people that you send connection requests to based on their demographics, which are more limited in LinkedIn, their work profile, which has a lot of options in LinkedIn, and their LinkedIn activity. Now, to get to LinkedIn activity, I will tell you, you have to have Sales Navigator, which is LinkedIn's premium search tool. Uh, on demographics, let's talk about more from the free side. On demographics and work profile, you can target in LinkedIn very easily by their location geographically, the industry that they work with, current and past companies, and then with Sales Navigator by their level in the company, their title, the number of years that they've been in a position, or the number of employees in the company. On the LinkedIn activity side, again, this is more driven by Sales Navigator in the paid version, but you can target how often they post. So you're only reaching out to people that have been active on LinkedIn, the groups that they belong to, and who they're connected with or follow. I'm going to show you this actually on the LinkedIn profile here in a minute, but I want to tell you the general ways you're going to find leads through organic searches. The first is through networking connections. You go to a networking event. After the networking event, you look them up on LinkedIn and you send them a connection request. That's a great one. The second way that you can find leads in organic searches is through the recommendations that LinkedIn makes to you. And I'll show you where those are on LinkedIn here in just a minute. Also through the search bar. There's a search bar at the top of every LinkedIn page. You can actually search for them, and this is where the majority of your organic searches are going to come from. And then the little trick that I'm going to show you is that you can also target other people's connections who are connected with people that you know are close to your ideal clients. So let's hop back again over to LinkedIn, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're back here on LinkedIn, and we already talked about your networking connections. So those are people that literally you meet at a networking event, you come in here, search for their name, and send them a connection request. So that one's pretty straightforward, right? The second one I want to talk about is your LinkedIn recommendations. When you're on your LinkedIn profile page, that's where I am right now, on the side of your profile page, you will have sections from LinkedIn where it says people also viewed and people you may know. These are connection requests that LinkedIn is recommending based on people that are similar to you, have also viewed on LinkedIn, or that have some kind of connection with you on your profile that you may know them. So you can go through here and you can look at these people, and it's a great place to say connect, right? So that's the second one. Then the third one is the LinkedIn searches, and this is where I want to focus most right now. So let's say that I wanted to connect with photographers. So I can put in the search bar, I can write in photographer, and you want to click on the word that's the closest to what people do. You don't want to click on jobs. That's actually people that are looking for jobs. So if I click on photographer, I want to start with people, so I'm going to click on people. So it's going to bring up 1,760,000 results. Well, that's quite a few people to target, right? So let's narrow this down a little bit. If I click on all filters, let's say I want to look at my second and third degree connections, because I don't want to target my own first degree connections. I want new connections, but I want to get people that are second and third degree connections of my first degree connections, right? Let's just say that I want to target the United States. And, I don't really care too much what they're talking about, but I really do only want self-employed photographers. I don't want people that are a photographer within a company, let's say. So I don't want any of these companies or schools. Industry, we've already talked about really their photographer, and I want them to speak English. I click on those and then I click show results, and you can go through each of those and pick what you want. Now I'm down to 3,400 photographers. That's a very good number to start with. So you'll see as you scroll down that a lot of these people will have a connect or a follow button. Follow is where you're not actually connecting with them, you're just following them, and not really what you want for the purposes of what we're doing right now. So as you go down here, you can look at their profiles. You can be very picky and look at every profile, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to cast a broad net, and anybody who their headline meets your criteria, you actually can send a connection request. And all you would do is hit the connect button, and you always add a note. So you'd always click on add a note, and then this is where that template comes in, that 2 to 3 sentence connection request that we said you wanted to create will come in. Paste it in there, hit send, and you have a pending connection out to Tatiana, right? That's an easy one. Okay, so then the last way that I want to teach you real quick here is how do you leverage the connections of your first degree connections to find more targeted leads? Well, if I know that there are coaches that I work with that I am connected with on LinkedIn, their first degree connections, that I know have similar audiences, I can choose, if they've given permission, if they had to give permission, to look at their profiles and actually look at their connections. So how would I do that? Well, first I need to go into my first degree connections. So I go into my network and I go into connections, and then I go to the search in connections, because now I have all this list of connections, and I find someone that has a connection community that I know is going to be similar to mine. So if I just start scrolling down, let's say that Linda Sunshine West, I thought was a good person that would have people in her community that might be interested in what I'm doing. She's a book publisher, so we're not directly competitive, but I know a lot of people that are publishing books are looking for business coaches as well. So I would click on Linda, open up her profile, and I'll see here she has 11,822 followers, so she has a lot of followers. And the key here is this 500 plus connections is highlighted. That has to be highlighted because that means that Linda has given permission by her settings for other people to see her connections. She can choose whether or not she wants to do that. So all I have to do is click on her 500 plus connections that she has, and it's going to give me a list of all of Linda's connections. When you scroll down here, this connect, in this case, if Michael was someone I wanted to connect with, I could just hit connect, add my note, and again, add him. So this is a way for you to get more targeting on your connections. So there we have it. That is how you're going to do your organic searches. You're going to add your networking connections in your day-to-day work. You're going to look at the LinkedIn recos. You're going to do your own searches using the search bar in LinkedIn, the search bar right up here, and you're going to target other people's connections when that makes sense for you. Now let's talk about, once they accept your connection request, what happens? Well, we need to start a conversation, right? So how do we do that? Well, here's some tips in starting a conversation. The first thing is, don't sell. This is not about spammy, salesy messages. You are there to be curious about who that person is and to really start asking some leading questions to get to know them. When I say leading questions, I mean questions that help you understand who these people are and whether they are a potential collaboration partner, referral partner, or a potential client, and then invite them to a call when it feels right. Use your intuition here. Do what feels right, because remember, our goal is to get them on a call. It's the connection call that really has you see whether or not this person is that collaboration partner or referral partner, or is a potential call and needs your services, or frankly, if you need their services. So that's always the goal. So let's move on to pillar 4. This is my secret to success. Let's talk about the secret pillar number 4, and that is to email your LinkedIn connections. Yeah, email. Now, why am I saying email your LinkedIn connections? We're online, right? Well, here's the deal. Personal email gets opened. When you send someone an email from your personal email, I'm not talking about ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or Keep or whatever it is, you're going to get 60 to 70% open rates. It's almost impossible to get that with any kind of a third-party email sender. And it doesn't feel salesy. When people get a personal email, it gets through the spam filters more. It feels more real and authentic because it's not coming from that third party. Also, you now own that connection. You've taken that LinkedIn connection off of LinkedIn and created your own little mini database of people that you're connected with on LinkedIn, and you have their email address. If LinkedIn decided to shut down the platform tomorrow or shut you down, which could happen, unfortunately, you still now own that connection, and that is critical. Finally, you're going to schedule 2 to 3 times more calls when you send people an email than you will when you just have the conversation on LinkedIn. So what's your email strategy? Well, I don't have time to go into detail here, but here's what I am going to tell you. You want to keep this very simple. You want to start 7 to 10 days after the connection request is accepted with a 4 email series that you send from your Gmail, Outlook, whatever your personal email account address is. There's 4 emails that I send over 2 to 3 weeks. The first one is purely a connection email to acknowledge that you met on LinkedIn and to basically say you want to connect with them on email, and it's not about sales conversations, it's about building relationship. The second one, you want to add value, give them something of value from you or a link to an article or a third-party resource. And then the third and the fourth one, you actually invite them to calls. That happens over 2 to 3 weeks, and those 4 emails will double to triple your number of calls that you get scheduled. So don't skip this step. It's so important. And there you have it, our 4 pillars of our LinkedIn leverage system. Pillar number 1, your profile. It's your front door to people getting to know you on LinkedIn. Pillar number 2, your posting strategy. This is where you build credibility and visibility on LinkedIn. Pillar number 3, your connections and the conversations that you create from those connections, building those intentional relationships. And pillar number 4, our secret weapon, emailing your LinkedIn connections to broaden your reach and get 2 to 3 times more calls on your calendar. So can you see it? Can you see how LinkedIn is a way that you can grow your connections in your community, create those collaborations, get referrals and referral partnerships in place, and find targeted clients? LinkedIn is an amazing platform, and I know it has a ton of potential. So the question I asked you at the beginning is it for you? Do you see yourself using LinkedIn as one of your core strategies to build your business? If so, I'd love to help you do that. What I want to do is give you a couple of free gifts. And I also want to tell you, as I said at the beginning, send me questions, send me emails to wecare@resultspartner.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions for you and also jump on a call with you if that's appropriate. In the meantime, I want to give you access to 2 free gifts today. Now, the first free gift I want to give you is a profile picture template. Now, this template is a PowerPoint slide that is you're going to easily drop your personal profile picture in and easily change the color so that the band around your profile picture matches your brand colors, and then upload it into LinkedIn so that you have that magic profile picture that's going to put your best face forward on LinkedIn. And I'm going to also give you a video that walks you through step by step on how to do that. The second gift I'm going to give you is my top 10 tips to optimize your LinkedIn profile. This is a short report that tells you the 3 things we've talked about already today, but also other tips that are going to help you go deeper to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And that really is the first step that I would recommend you take after our training today, is to focus on pillar number 1, which is getting your LinkedIn profile absolutely maximized. Okay, so how do you get access to these gifts? Well, the profile picture template along with the video to give you access to exactly how to do that. You can get by going to this bit.ly link, or you can grab your camera right now, your phone, and take a picture of it on your phone, and it should open up in your browser and you can go to it directly. The other one I'm giving you is the top 10 tips to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Go to this bit.ly link, and you can also use your camera to look at the QR code and get access to both of these tips right now. I can't wait to see what's possible for you when you have access to these these gifts, you get started on your LinkedIn profile, and then get ready to dive in to the rest of your LinkedIn leverage system. I'm Sherry Caulfield. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I really, really hope that you've enjoyed this, that you've determined whether LinkedIn is one of your top 3 strategies or if you want it to be going forward. If it is, I would love to be of service to you. Please reach out to me with any questions at wecare@resultspartner.com, and I hope to see you soon. Here's to what's possible.